seen my intro video to my 28 Days of Self-Care series, you will know that I'm not really the type of person who does self-care. Like, ever. Like, I don't. I can't see how it applies to me. Like, yeah, works for other people, but not for me. I'm usually super stressed. I live on my last nerve constantly. I bounce from thing to thing to thing to thing. Keep myself super busy, but I never have time to do stuff like self-care. Because, like, why? And because I'm a total overachiever, I was like, I'm going to do a 28-day self-care series. That will be awesome. I can try out 28 different things, see what I like, see what I don't like. This is what I learned. Hey friends, I'm Nicola. Welcome to my channel where I am trying to figure out a pathway to go from burnt out neurotic mess to effective, happy and healthy. Is this something you think you'd like to kind of join in with? Hit that subscribe button, stick around and watch this video. So first of all, I want to say I'm super sorry that this video is being recorded on the 8th of March, like an entire week after the challenge has finished. I had a little mini episode of anxiety and it didn't go well, and I just wasn't able to sit down in front of the camera and film because I would have just cried if I had to talk about self-care. So that's on me. I'm sorry. I don't think anyone's like impatiently waiting for this. But anyway, so first of all, I just want to say this whole thing actually kind of took me by surprise. First, I'm super surprised that I actually finished the challenge, because I'm a quitter. I don't finish things, I start things and then I move on to the next thing. So I am super proud of the fact that I did these 28 things. I made and uploaded 28 videos, so yay me! Editing Nicola will put in thunderous applause right here, and I can bask in the glory of sound effects. Still basking in the glory of the sound effects, I hope. Editing Nicola, I hope you have my back on this. I just want to say that I picked like 28 random things from multiple lists. Some of them sounded fun, some of them sounded absolutely horrific, but I was like, I'm going to do them. I'm just going to do them all, see what happens, see what works, see what doesn't work, learn a little bit about myself, and see where we go from there. First of all, I 100% enjoyed that month. Like, I 100% enjoyed filming a little short every day, doing a TikTok, dancing on the internet, doing all these stupid things, and it was just so much fun checking each day what I needed to do and then just doing it. I guess I was super surprised by what things resonated with me. That, like, the first challenge was to like take 5 deep breaths and set a daily intention. I was like, oh man, that's pure bullshit. Like, that's not gonna work. Holy shit, that works. I have literally been doing that every single day since, and I love it. It's just helping me like focus on what I want to do each day, focus on what I want to get out of the day, and it's mind changing, like literally mind changing. So I'm super happy that that was the first one, like super happy. I'm sorry, I'm a super bad YouTuber right now because I keep looking down at my notes. Oops. I might edit it out. I might not. No, I'm not even looking at the camera. I'm looking at myself on the screen. Let's kind of start with what didn't work for me. So the Sunday morning lie-in didn't work, which I was really surprised by because I'm really lazy and I love to stay in bed. But that Sunday morning, I woke up at like 7 a.m. I was full of energy. I'd had a really good night's sleep the night before. I was raring to go. And I normally do like a group power hour with some of my friends every Saturday and Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Love a group work session. And I host it on my account, and one of my friends said that she would host it and that if I logged in she would actually remove me from the room, which was nice of her. It's nothing like tough love. Thank you, Esther. But then I was kind of like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? So I got up at 7:30, I made some breakfast, I had breakfast in bed. The dog walked on my porridge, so that was a freaking disaster. I was like, I'll read in bed, but I didn't want to read. And then I was like, I'll watch some videos. I didn't want to like watch anything. And it was just hell. It was just hell. Today though, I could have happily stayed in bed till 11. So, you know, every day your body needs something different. And I suppose that was a big learning lesson, that, you know, you have to listen to what you want and what your body needs and what your mind needs. So that was a good thing to learn. And from that then, I guess I've learned that I need to factor in time where I can have that downtime, that if I need it, I can go to bed earlier or sleep later. Kind of just not keep myself so hyper scheduled and so hyper rushed all the time. The pamper prompt. Oh my god, the pamper prompt. So I struggle with this like majorly. I am gonna get real here. I don't love myself. I don't like myself. I don't accept myself. I don't think that I'm enough. You know, all the negative self-talk. And so I squirm. Like, I get really uncomfortable when I have to do these like pampering things, you know, to show yourself that you care. And even just slapping on like a cheap supermarket face mask, that was hell for me. Hell. Plus it was one of those like tissue masks. So you can't even do anything. You kind of like have to sit there with your face tilted so that it doesn't fall off and that you don't end up with this like soggy mess in your lap. Yeah, didn't enjoy that at all. Really, really didn't enjoy that at all. But which is weird because I used to love face masks. Like I used to get my lashes done, I'd get my nails done. I used to go to the beautician. Like I was a beautician. Like I'm a qualified beautician. And now I'm kind of like, ew, not for me. That was a massive downer moment for me. And I guess it's something that I can be more aware of now and work on. But that was a surprise. I wasn't expecting that. So, yay, internet. Oh god, the social media free days, the digital detox days, the Marie Kondoing your social media, like unfollow what doesn't spark joy. That shit was hard. That shit was hard. They were good for me. And I have unfollowed accounts that like were giving me the rage because like I used to hate watch accounts. I used to like hate watch things, and yeah, hate watching is not good. Sorry, internet. It's a thing, but it's not good. So I'm glad that, you know, I've unfollowed those accounts and stuff. But then you have the FOMO, so then you have to deal with like, oh my god, what am I missing out on? And then I found myself like on discussion boards talking about the stuff that I wasn't watching. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, girl, dial this shit in. Like, stop. Just stop. And yeah, even on the social media free days, like I was constantly like reaching for my phone. It's like if I finished one task or if I got bored, my hand would be on my phone. It's like, no, stop it. You're not allowed to do that. No. We are social media free today. So that was tough. So I am now, as a result of that, trying to limit my time on Instagram. I now set a timer for TikTok because Jesus Christ, TikTok just takes an entire phone battery. Like that app, the constant, I just can't deal. I love it so much though. I love it so much. I think that possibly highlighted the fact that I might have a slight addiction to social media, and that's possibly something that I need to work on. But how committed am I to it? I don't know, because it does bring me joy. But then it brings the comparison. So you've got the comparison, which is a thief of joy, and then you have the joy of looking at the pretty things. So I don't know. We will see. And then there were a couple of things that surprised me in a super positive way as well. So daily intentions. That was like the first task, was to set a daily intention. Oh my god, life-changing. I am loving it. Still doing that every single day. It's making such a difference to how I feel, how I'm spending my time, what I'm doing. It's amazing. Highly recommended. I've also been taking a little bit more time to sit and read. I've started knitting again, kind of taking up my hobbies again, because I realized that like I miss them. I enjoy them. They help me relax. They help me switch off. So it's kind of something that I do need to actually bring back into my life and my environment. So my environment. I now know that my environment plays a massive part in my mood, my emotional state, how I feel. And I've come to the conclusion that to stay kind of on an even keel, I need to actually actively mind my environment. So surround myself with beautiful things. Like I have flowers in my office now, because this is where I spend like 90% of my waking time. I have pretty wallpapers on my desktop. I'm currently redecorating in here to make it nicer. I burn nice scented candles. I'm trying to wear nicer clothes. I'm trying to keep my spaces tidy and like fresh and clean and nice, and that's having a massive impact on my mood. Now I know it's a bit of a faff sometimes to do it because you just don't feel like it, but the return on the time investment is huge for me. And I think because I'm a very like, I don't know, maybe we all are, maybe I'm just like bullshitting here, but I seem to be really easily impacted by like the weather, Like I get that seasonal affective disorder. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like what's around us influences us. So I'm just trying to surround myself with nicer things. And the last thing that I found really good was getting more fresh air. So a few days now I've managed to get out, get a walk at lunchtime, get a walk in the middle of the day, just even sit outside on the patio with a cup of tea. And it clears out my mind. Like the fresh air, the sunshine, the birds singing, the scent of the cut grass, because it's springtime and people are cutting their grass. It's just wonderful, and it lifts the spirits. It makes me feel good, kind of gives me a bit of energy to get through the afternoon, and then I get more done. So all around winning. So that's kind of what I thought of the self-care stuff. But here's the big thing. What did I learn about me from doing this? Loads. I learned loads. And like, I'm 40 years of age. How did I not know this stuff beforehand? Like, why did I not know this stuff about myself? Like, what have I been doing up to this point? Like, seriously, what have I been doing? The biggest thing that I took away from this entire experiment was that I need to learn to listen to myself. I need to learn to listen to what I want, what I need, what's going to make a difference to me, or what's going to make me feel like absolute crap. And these are the things then that I need to use to rebuild my life. Because I don't know if you know, but I've had like a couple of like old school language nervous breakdowns, and I'm literally trying to rebuild my life. Like, I get these massive bouts of anxiety where I can't function, and I'm afraid to even go and get a job because, you know, 4 days out of 7 I can be perfect, and then 3 days I just want to sit and cry and shake in a ball. And that's something that I'm learning to live with, but it's hard. It's really hard to accept that, like, I'm not the person that I used to be. So I kind of have to take this as like an opportunity to just rebuild, start fresh, build a new life, and build something sustainable that works for me. I guess I'm coming around to the concept that self-care just isn't this thing that you can throw around and be like, yeah, no, I do self-care. Like, I paint my nails 3 times a week, and I get my hair washed and blow dried, and it's awesome. It's a muscle that needs to be built up like any other muscle. That's kind of how I'm starting to look at it. That, you know, if you want like to get lean and strong, you go to the gym and you lift heavy shit. But if you want your mind to be lean and strong, then you have to practice this self-care muscle, because this muscle is what gives your mind like the resilience and the strength to look after you, to stop you getting into bad places or to pull you back out of bad places. So this is something that I definitely am committed to doing. And now I've learned that, you know, what works for me, what doesn't work for me, what I need to do more of, what I need to do less of. So that's been a really valuable time. In the past, like my psychiatrist, my therapist, everyone's told me like, you need to be doing self-care, you need to be doing self-care. And I'm like, bitch, I can't even get out of bed. How am I going to do self-care? And now I'm understanding that what they mean is you need to be doing self-care all the time. So not just when you're in a crisis situation, not just when things are going bad for you, but all the frickin' time. So that when you're good, you're still doing self-care, so that you're practicing flexing that muscle, you're growing the ability to do self-care, because then you're already in the frame of mind where you do it. Sorry, got out of breath because I'm like excited. So that you're already in the frame of mind where you know how to do self-care and you're used to doing it. That then when you're in a bad situation, or you're feeling low, or you're stressed, that it's more reflexive, that it's easier to do, that you're not trying to add something else into your schedule. So that was something pretty big to learn. Plus, I've learned just how poor my self-esteem is, how low my confidence is, and just how shit I feel about myself. And like, I've always known that I've had low self-esteem and stuff, but like, when I can sit there and tell myself that I don't deserve like a face mask, or that I just don't deserve to be kind to myself, that I'm not worth it, that's really hard to hear yourself say. So I'm trying to switch my narrative, to be more mindful about what I'm saying to myself, to be more positive in how I speak to myself, more just less aggressive to myself, just to be kinder to me. You know, to try and speak to myself like, you know, everyone talks about your inner child and stuff, but to try to speak to my inner child rather than you know, the hyper judgy version that I normally give myself. Sorry, this is kind of hard to say to people, but yeah. I've also learned that I need to be flexible in my approach to what I need. That every single day it might be something different. Oh, there's someone walking on the road, so we're about to hear dogs barking. Yep, there they go. My dogs own the road. Nobody else is allowed to walk on the road. How dare our neighbour go for a walk? How very dare she? I'm also learning how rigid and regimented I am. That you know, some days I need something different to what I'd planned, and I have to learn to listen to myself. Like, one day I was supposed to go for a walk and I was feeling really crap, so I rang a friend instead. And even though I know that ringing the friend to talk things through was 175% the right thing to do, I still feel like because I didn't do that task that I had on that day, I hadn't done self-care. I hadn't done the right thing, and it was wrong, and I had failed. I did what I needed to do. I felt better for it. I could have gone for a walk, but it wouldn't have had the same impact that like sitting and talking to my friend for an hour. So yeah, be flexible. Listen to your body, listen to your gut, go with your intuition, and we'll work from there. One day I'll believe that. One day I will. I've also realised that I like to be super busy. I like to have a lot of things ahead of me to do. I like to overachieve. It's just who I am. It's what I get joy out of. It's what I get fun out of. It's me. And like, I shouldn't beat myself up for that. Like, everybody tells me, oh, you know, you're spending too many times at your computer, or you're on too many Zoom calls, you should take time off. I enjoy it. I enjoy that. Okay, I know I'm an introvert and I do need to have like less Zoom time just to like replenish myself and stuff. But I genuinely enjoy having a lot on my plate. And like, there's no point in denying your personality. There's no point in denying who you are just so that you can live slower. I do want to live a slower life, but within reason, because I know I like to be challenged, and if I'm not challenged, then what's the point? You know? What's the point? It's just my personality. So yeah, sorry. But even though I do like to be challenged and I like to be super busy, I'm also coming around to the fact that I do need downtime, but I need guilt-free downtime, which for me means putting it on my calendar, scheduling it in, making it a habit, because if it's not on the calendar, I'm less likely to do it. But also, if it's on the calendar, then it's planned for, so it's guilt-free. Like, I never would have thought of putting like sit down and watch a movie on the calendar or go for a walk on the calendar, but now they're on the calendar, and that means I do them and I enjoy them, because I shouldn't be doing something else. They're just that's just what I should be doing at that time, so that makes it okay to do. I have to say though, the one thing that has hit me the hardest is setting daily intentions. Like, that just kind of mind blown. I've always wanted to live like a more intentional life, because kind of up to my breakdown, I had always been playing a role, and I'm kind of sick of playing a role. I just want to follow what I want to do. And I think setting intentions is something that's going to help with that, because, you know, if you don't set an intention and you don't know what you want to do in life, then you are just going to like go ahead with someone else's goals for you, or go ahead with kind of like the norm. Whereas, you know, if you just draw a line in the sand and like, these are my intentions, then I think that makes more sense. I genuinely, honestly think that being more intentional and setting a daily intention, and maybe even extending that out to like weekly, monthly life intentions, can help me to be more effective and kind of find it easier to get towards my goals. Because if I have an intention, that's like the roadmap, so that every decision then becomes easier. So I think that's where my head's going. I still need to tease it out a little bit more, but that's where I am right now. So what's next for me then? Well, like I've already mentioned, I have started putting self-care onto my calendar, so that is actually planned in to my day. So I have 2 blocks of time on my calendar like one in the morning, one in the evening, that are kind of just time for me. If I have the time on the calendar, then I am more likely to do the thing. So that was the first major step for me. It was like put self-care on the calendar. Because one of my blocks is in the morning, I'm building like this little morning ritual, loosely based on Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning Savers thing. So I do some meditation, affirmations, some visualization, a little bit of exercise, like literally 5 minutes, like stretching, yoga stuff. And then I read and I do some journaling, and I am loving it. So I come out here, I sit in my nice pink chair, I do my little things, I light a scented candle, drink a cup of coffee. Some mornings it's instant, some mornings it's delicious freshly ground coffee. It depends on how early I get up. And honestly, it's helping me start my day from a really clear place, that I know what I want to achieve that day. I feel good, I've looked after myself, and it's just giving me that little bit more energy and drive to get through my days, which I am loving. I'm getting older now, and I realize that health and wellness are so much more important now, that like literally your health is your wealth. And like a few of my tasks are like, you know, drinking more water, get out and exercise. I'm trying to reduce the amount of sugar I eat. So I'm actually trying to build better habits around health and wellness. Silly little things like take my medication every day, take my vitamins every day, eat better food, make better choices. Not because I should do it, but because I love myself and I want to treat myself right, and I want to feel good, live longer, look better. So yeah, they're habits that are hard to establish when, you know, like I've had eating disorders in the past. Like I've been massively overweight, I've been massively underweight. And it's just to find that happy balance where I look after myself, I make good choices, not because I have to, but because I want to. So I'm working on that. It's difficult. I will still prefer a can of Coke to a glass of water every day of the week, but no more fizzy drinks because teeth are falling out of my head. Dentist has said no more fizzy drinks, and I believe him. I believe Dr. Shah. The one thing that I'm really, really struggling now to come to terms with is my personal opinions of myself. My feeling that I'm just not enough, that like I'm not good enough, that I don't accept myself, that I don't love myself. Like I'm really, really struggling with that. And the reason I started doing meditations and affirmations is to try and kind of change that narrative. So I'm really glad that I did this experiment, because it really like held up a mirror to me and really reflected my thoughts and behaviors back at me. So I'm super, super glad, because now that I'm more aware of it and I'm aware of the impact that it's really having on my life, I feel I can actually deal with it now. Whereas before it's kind of like it was in the back of my mind that this might be a thing, but I was ignoring it and I was happy to ignore it. Whereas now I think if I can sort this out, I'll just be more at peace with myself. And I think when you're at a place of peace and acceptance, then it's just easier to be happy, because you're just fighting against less. I could be wrong. Please, if anyone knows better, please, please, please correct me or give me advice on how to do this. So yeah, I'm focused on building up this muscle of self-care. Like, I'm gonna get like self-care guns, and see can I change my narrative, see can I feel better, just be in a better place where self-care is like a reflex rather than another thing that needs to be done. And I think if I can get to that point where I'm not fighting against self-care, I'm not railing against it, that I'll feel more, I don't know what the word I'm looking for here is, that I'll feel less hopeless. Like, wow, okay, Nicola. I'm secretly hoping that if I can find like that magic sweet spot between like frantically busy and fully relaxed and indulged in self-care and being totally chilled, that kind of, that's the place I want to be, so that I can be fully on and then fully off. Does that make sense? And that because I've put in like foundations of like good eating habits, looking after my mental health by like actually taking my meds, my physical health by exercising, taking my meds, my vitamins, that I'll just find that sweet spot where I can live a good life and just be myself. Does that make sense? I don't even know if it makes sense to me, so I don't know how it's going to make sense to you. But I mean, what's the worst thing that can happen? Self-care is a good thing. Nothing bad is going to happen to me from doing self-care. Like, it can only make improvements. So might as well just feckin' listen to myself. Stop every so often. Try to slow down a little bit and just do the things that I know are going to have some benefits for me at some point in time. But basically, I've already burnt out once. No, I've burnt out like 3 times now, but I've had a total breakdown once, and it was hell. Do you hear this? Like right in the middle of my dramatic wrap up. So, I guess I've already burnt out multiple times. I've had one major breakdown. I've had one smaller breakdown, and I don't want to do that again. Like, I'm too old now to keep starting my life over. I just want to be able to enjoy my life, get the value out of it, not be anxious and worried all the time. And do you know what? Doing a little bit of self-care can help with that. I'm fully committed to doing it. I am totally prepared for this. This is my moment where I stop. I learn to listen to myself. I stop feckin' pushing myself to be 110% on all the time, and just listen to what I need and slow the fuck down. Sorry that got a little bit rambly. I would love you to stick around with me while I try and figure all this out. YouTube thinks you're gonna like this video here, so if you think you would, just go click on it and watch it. I will catch you in the next one, and thank you so much for joining me today. Again, sorry this was so late, but I've learned that I need to have a video in the bag at all times, just in case my old friend Anxiety comes to say, hey Nick, how are things? So thank you so much for being here. And remember, I came across this quote recently. It's from Steve Jobs. Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't waste it living someone else's life. That hit me hard. Let's do this, guys. Thank you so much.